This is your host, Danny, and this is Common Mistakes from English Plus Podcast. Well, we're going to focus today on the word admire. We're going to talk about some common mistakes people make when they use the word admire. So let me start with the very first common mistake. 1 hour is not long enough to admire all the exhibits. You might say that in a museum, right? Or I enjoyed admiring all the old buildings. Well, you might think that admire is okay to use here, but it is not. No, that's not right. Instead of using admire here, we should use see the exhibits and look at the old buildings. Do not use admire when you just mean see or look at. Admire means look at someone or something with a strong feeling of pleasure. This meaning of admire is found mainly in novels and tourist brochures. Come and admire the magnificence of the Niagara Falls. Or Rupert was sitting outside the veranda admiring the many jewels in the night sky. That's kind of literary use. But for everyday use, we don't use admire unless you really mean it. Otherwise, if you want to say see, just say see or look at, like in the examples. Not to admire all the exhibits, see all the exhibits. And not admiring all the old buildings, I enjoyed looking at the old buildings. Now let's take a look at a couple more examples. Although it was a sad film, I admired it very much. Or everybody admired your talk because it was lively and interesting. Well, I gotta say, here admired is not used correctly. No, it's not. Instead, I simply use enjoy. Do not use admire when you mean enjoy. Admire means have a very high opinion of someone. For example, we say, I've always admired people who think for themselves. Or Lewis was probably best known and admired for his work on medieval literature. So here, it is okay to use admire, but if you just want to say enjoy, use enjoy. Instead of I admired it very much talking about the film, you just say I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the film very much. Or when we want to talk about the talk, everyone admired your talk. Instead of admired your talk, we just say everybody enjoyed your talk. So that is about admire, folks, and the common mistakes that I don't want you to make using this word. Every day we're going to have a new common mistakes episode in which we're going to focus on only one word or phrase. So another day, another common mistake. With that being said, thank you very much for listening to another episode from English Plus Podcast. This is your host, Danny. I will see you next time.